thing that I want you to do is to open up your self-portrait again, so you can see we've got just a black layer on the top there, and you're going to move this image over onto your Punk document with the squares on it. So to move it, you can click on the Move tool, hold down on the image, make sure you're clicked on layer 1 and the copy layer, and you can just drag it over to your Punk document and it will copy and paste it over. Okay, minimize that for a second. Now you can see here that the image is quite small compared to the box, so I want to make it a little bit bigger. So to do that, you can go to Edit, Transform and Scale, and then you can find one of the corners and make it bigger or smaller by dragging it out. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger first of all. Hit the Enter button. So I'm happy with that. So you can see this layer has copied underneath, if I go back here, it's underneath the yellow one and above the other one. So just to keep things simple, because I'm putting it over the pink box, I'm going to drag it down. So you can rearrange the layers by dragging them. So you can see now it's sitting above the pink one. So that means if I move it, it will be underneath all the other ones, but on top of the pink one. And I'm going to rename that one Blondie Pink, just to keep it logical. So I now want to copy that image, so I can drag her down to the new layer button, and you can see it's made a copy of that. I'm going to reorder it so it's above the orange, drag it above the orange layer, and then making sure I'm clicked on that layer, I'm going to drag it down on top of the orange layer. And now what I would like you to do is change the colour of this one. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, and you can press Colorize, and you'll need to lighten it a little bit first. Take up the saturation, and then you can play around with changing the colour of it as well. So I quite like the blue on there, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to just double click this name and change it, so Blondie Orange, or Blondie Blue I'll call it, that makes more sense. Perhaps I'll change this one to Blondie Black. So I'm going to make 2 more copies, so I'm going to take this one, drag it down to the new layer. You can see it's copied there. Make sure I'm on the Move tool. It's underneath the blue and the yellow at the moment, so I just need to reorder that. So I'm going to drag the copy above the blue square. Go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. Change the colour of it. So maybe I'll go. What colour looks good? Yeah, quite like that pink on there. Press OK. And then my final one, I'm going to copy that layer. It's obviously under the yellow box here, so if I move it, it will go underneath, so I need to make sure I drag that on top of the yellow box. Add it on there. Again, I'm going to change the colour, Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, and change the colour of this one. What should I do? Quite like that. Play around with that a little bit. Make it more pink. So you just have to make sure that you clicked colorize on there so that it makes it brighter. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'll change that one to blondie pink. And that one's kind of a purpley colour, just so I don't get confused. So you can see now which layer is which. If you click the little eye button, then you can see that it disappears depending on which layer that you're clicking on. So you know which one's which. I'm then going to save the document to make sure it's all saved and I don't lose anything. You can, if you want to, slightly maybe change the size of the boxes again if you want to do that. So make sure you're clicked on the layer, go to edit, transform, and then scale. And again, you can change the size of the boxes if you want to crop them down a little bit. You can do that too. Press enter. So just make sure if it doesn't come up automatically, then when you click save or save as, when you save it, that it's a Photoshop document and it's not a JPEG. And that just means that I've already made one, so it's asking me to replace it. I'll just replace it. That just means it saves all of the layers separately rather than flattening the image. And that is where I would like you to get to today. And I would like you to send me this file when you are finished.